Are you paying attention? Or are you on your phone? If you are on your phone, why are you trying to watch a YouTube video at the same time? Unless you're watching this YouTube video on your phone. Not that there's much to even watch right now. We should probably talk about that. How long do you think you could listen to me ramble with no visual aid? You're probably bored already, and most people have already clicked off the video at this point. But don't worry, this isn't the entire video, but even with visual aid, you probably won't watch the entire thing. So I challenge you, during this video, all I ask is that you give me your full attention. No phones, no distractions, and you might actually learn something. It's no secret that our generation are glued to their phones. We've basically grown up with technology and social media our entire lives. And that means that these habits that we have going on our phone are so deep rooted and go back so far that they're just ingrained in our everyday lives. It's exactly like brushing your teeth. You've been doing that for years upon years. It's a really deep rooted habit that you now just do as an everyday thing that is just a part of your life. Half of the time you don't even think about brushing your teeth, you just do it in the morning, do it before you go to sleep. And it's the exact same with your phone. Half the time you reach for it, you're not even thinking. You might pick up your phone and then be on it for an hour, you might pick up your phone and then be on it for 4 hours. You just don't know when you reach for your phone. But what you might not know is how badly these habits are actually affecting your brain. And that sounds pretty dramatic, and that's kind of because it is. Sleep is one key aspect of this. The average person in 1942 slept on average 8 hours a day. Now the norm is only 6.2 hours, which means that we're losing out on more than 2 hours sleep every single night, which is just a massive drop. Lack of sleep can be really detrimental to your physical and mental health. It can lead to unhappiness, depression, a low sex drive, and even memory loss. Lack of sleep will also affect your productivity. As you probably know, if you get too little sleep, you won't be as productive the next day. But more importantly than lack of sleep, a low attention span destroys your productivity. Think, if you were to switch tasks every 30 seconds, you would never achieve anything. Why? Because your brain is trying to focus on one task and then switch to another, and this obviously takes up mental space. So by switching tasks all the time, you're basically using up so much of your brain's capacity. Have you ever been working and feel so engaged with the work that you're doing, so focused, and just you feel like you could work for hours on hours? If you have had this, it's called flow state, and you probably understand it's a really good feeling, and you just feel so productive and you get so much done. Now, could you imagine if you had regular flow states, like every day, or even multiple during a day? Now, like I mentioned, sleep will affect your flow states. Flow states are hands down the best way to get things done. If you've ever experienced one, you can probably resonate with this. But flow states have a kryptonite, and you might have already guessed what it is. Distractions. Anything that takes you away from this hyper-focused mindset cuts the flow state dead. So a single check of your phone, no matter how long, will take your focus away from the task that you were originally doing. And if you want to regain to that same level of focus that you were at before you checked your phone, it's going to take you about 23 minutes. So if you want to be more productive, you just need to get into more flow states, and you'll end up doing so much more. I noticed this when I did my social media detox. Without distractions and social media, it really allowed me to focus in my mind on what actually matters, get into a flow state, and then be more productive. But since then, I have re-downloaded all the social apps, and much like an addictive drug, I'm just using them again. TikTok is the heroine of the social media world. One tap on the icon and it seems like an hour has already flown by. Some days I would look at my phone usage and I would have over 2 hours on just TikTok. 2 hours on just TikTok. Some people, that's a lot worse, but if we go off the basis of 2 hours a day on TikTok, that's 14 hours a week. That equates to 2.5 days out of your month and 28 days out of your entire year. That's 600 hours that you are spending on TikTok in a year. Imagine if you put that time towards your passions or building your dreams. Now, it'll make me a bit of a hypocrite if I just make this video and don't really practice what I preach, so I'm going to attempt over, well, probably the rest of my life to cut down my phone usage. It's not that phones are inherently bad, it's the fact that social media is inherently bad. The technology that we have in phones is incredible. The fact that it's a flashlight, it's a calculator, it's Google. it's everything in one box, is incredible and can be so useful for productivity. However, in my opinion, social media is one of the least productive things to do with our phones. Now, don't get me wrong, of course, there's parts of social media that are great for productivity. If you count YouTube as a social media, I think, yeah, YouTube is okay because you can learn quite a lot from it. But TikTok, I feel like I never learn anything. So I make content on TikTok, similar to how I do on YouTube. Now, that obviously isn't all my time on TikTok. The majority of my time is spent swiping. So how do I avoid swiping time and only focus on making content? So rather than going on TikTok to go and make content and then end up scrolling, what I'm gonna do is properly schedule my time. So when I know I need to make a TikTok in a day, all I'm gonna use TikTok for is making that content. So another thing that I have done to solve my productivity issues and solve the amount of time that I spend on TikTok is bought one of these. This is a box that you can put things in and lock it for a certain amount of time. I'm gonna end up putting my phone in this box and seeing how much it actually affects my productivity. At the moment, I'm normally just sat at my desk, and if I know I don't wanna go on my phone, what I do is I throw it on my bed, and then I'll sit at my desk over there and work. This works to some extent because it's an extra barrier to go and get my phone, but still, it's easy enough to just get up from my desk and go and grab my phone from my bed. That extra level of having it purposefully locked away to the point where I genuinely can't get it is going to be so much better for my productivity and really going to help me get into those flow states that I was talking about. So that actually arrives today, so I'm going to give it a go and film the process and see how much it actually affects my productivity. Ooh, look at that time box. So yeah, this is gonna be the first time I use this container. I'm gonna put my phone in it for 2 hours. This thing's actually quite intimidating. So if I put my phone in like that, we'll go 2 hours, press the lock button. And there we go. Now my phone is stuck in this box for 2 hours. I'm gonna leave my phone on the side there, like away from the eye line, because if I was in theory sat at my desk here, you can't actually see my phone. It's that other element of not being able to see my phone that won't even be tempted to go near it. So it's been a couple of days since those last clips that I just filmed, and as you can see, my phone is in the container right now. I've literally just been doing it on and off, like probably at least 3 hours a day. It's really forced me to get a lot more done, especially with this video. I'm already super proud with the amount of work that I've put into it. So if you want to kind of do sort of a similar thing to me, up your productivity levels, I will leave a link to that Amazon box thing in the description. It's important to note that the amount you go on your phone and a lack of attention isn't inherently your fault. Social media companies are literally built to keep you addicted to their apps. That's their entire business model. Social media companies, their business model and how they make money, they have two main sort of ways. One of them you will know as advertisements. They will show you advertisements on the app. So obviously they want to keep you on their app for as long as possible to show you more advertisements, and then they can get more money from the advertisers. And the other one, which not many people know or pay much attention to, is the fact that social media companies will sell your data to advertisers. Now, this is how you get targeted ads. I can almost guarantee if you spend a week on TikTok looking at shoes and shoes only, and liking and interacting with posts about shoes, you will soon get adverts on TikTok for shoes. These complex algorithms build up a picture of basically who you are, what you like, and they track, and it changes over time, of course. They can sell this data to advertisers so that advertisers can give a really specific targeted ad towards you. Social media companies aren't built for people's mental health or well-being. They're built for advertisers, because that's their revenue source. It's all profit driven. It just means that the consumer, which is like your everyday user like me and you, we don't really get thought about. They're just like, how do we keep this person on our app for as long as possible? So if you want to learn a bit more about this subject, look up a guy called Johan Hari. He's got a couple of books and he's on a couple of podcast episodes. He's got videos on YouTube and stuff as well. He's kind of what inspired me to make this YouTube video. I really hope you give this a go because I found it super beneficial from even my mental health. Like when you use social media so much, your brain feels so clogged up and foggy from the amount of content that you consume. But if you just strip that back, you start to enjoy the simplicities of life a bit more. If you did enjoy the video, drop it a like because it really helps out my channel, and I hope you stick around for more videos like this because yeah, I'm starting to put more time into them now that I am using my phone less. So yeah, you'll be seeing more content from me pretty regularly. Bosh. I'm ready to film now. Woo! Should we say me in the mirror?